Hi, Andrew from SACS, and welcome to video number 11 in our 11 video sequence on personal intelligence or cognitive ability. And this is really to show you what results look like for cognitive ability assessments. So historically, people, when they've talked about cognitive ability, have used the term IQ, and IQ means something very specific. IQ scores have a mean of 100 and a standard deviation of 15. So if you come across normal curve theory, you'll know that you have a mean, which is the average of a population, and then you have a thing called a standard deviation, which really tells us how far from the mean a particular score is. Now, IQ scores have a mean of 100, so if you get a score of 100, you are exactly population average. If you get a score of 115, the standard deviation for an IQ is typically 15. And so that's one standard deviation above population average. Now we know that about close to 70% of the population is within one standard deviation either side of the average. And so what that means is that if you're two standard deviations above, 130 for instance, then you're starting to get into relatively rare territory. If you have three standard deviations, 145, you're a long way from population average. Now, not everybody understands that, so we've tended to move to percentiles. A percentile score literally tells you how good the result is in comparison with norm groups like a general population norm group, a professional population, or a professional specialisation, accountants, engineers, HR professionals, let's say. And so once the person's results are compared to those norm groups, what we do is we give you a percentile score. And 50 means exactly population average because that score is better than 50% of anybody who's completed. If you're at the 10th percentile, that's a low score because you're better than only 10%. If you're at the 90th percentile, then that's a good score because you're better than 90% of anybody who's ever completed. So percentiles are typically much more easily understood by the general public, and that's why many psych tests have gone to percentiles. So let's look at what a result actually looks like. And what you've got here is a verbal reasoning score, and this person's score on verbal reasoning is low. It's at the 6th percentile, and you'll notice at SACS we color code these things, so that's red for unfavorable. On the other hand, this abstract reasoning score is high, and so that's 79 and therefore above average. And the numerical reasoning score is within the average band. So you'll see that that's a 57, which is just a smidge above average, but not enough to be considered outside of the average band. And so that person's numerical reasoning is population average. And you'll see that in all three cases, the norm group is called out: professional population, professional population, professional population. So there are some characteristics of cognitive ability or personal intelligence, and I've explained a range of relationships, things that cognitive ability gives you both in your general life and at work. I've also mentioned a number of instruments and a number of forms of measurement. If you want to find out more about any of those, click on the link near this video or simply be in touch with SACS. And if you're interested in getting a free trial of some of this measurement, how it works, we can certainly help you there if you're an organisation that's looking to adopt these approaches.